All right, guys. So we have some cool gear today. I have used just about everything before, and it's all nice. Um, Anthropophagy is a scent from Southern Witchcrafts that came out I think last year, and it was so interesting. It was mild and plain at first when I used it. I think I had a sample, and then I had something to do, technically speaking, like deleting some videos to make room for the next one on my camera. But after that was done, I started to smell this other stuff it's in the description here, and it was like some kind of stealth bomb, not in strength, but just something that happened as a layered effect later, and I found it very interesting. So, and so I bought the full tub of it on the used market. We're going to be putting a blade, the Astra Superior Platinum. And we're going to be putting it in the Everyday Razor from Charcoal Goods. And I'm showing you brand new my new anchor handle. And then we will, bought used, new to me, and Saponificio Varesino. This is the brush, and this is their High Mountain Manchuria White is what they call it. And I love it. Really soft tips, and easy splay, big, just terrific. I mean, for me, what I like in a brush, I like this better than most of my declaration brushes, and so in terms of price, it's comparable. Um, I bought this one used, and so I saved some money that way. All right. So let us put this blade, we're about at 10 uses or so on this blade. And what happened with this handle is, and you could of course see the difference in the finish. This has the antiqued brass finish, and then this has it's not the shiny brass, but it's got a little bit of a patina to it, I guess. And what's going to happen is, as I use it, this artificially applied patina is going to come off, gradually weaken wherever I have touched it the most. So it's going to give it kind of a used look, and then it'll gradually start matching the head over time. Now here's a little tip. With the brass razors, any brass razor, carve included, we're talking about this today, but there's a product called a Renaissance wax, and you can artificially put a patina on any of your brass razors, and if you like it so much that you want to keep it, you want to keep that. If I wanted to keep this look all the time, then you can apply that Renaissance wax to your parts, and it will preserve that patina for you. How often you need to apply that, I'm not sure. It'd be cool if it was something like every 6 months or something like that, but it may depend on how much you use it, that sort of thing. I'm not really sure about that. If you have ever used the Renaissance wax, chime in please and let me know. And then I'll if somebody does let me know, I'll put that in the description of the video for you guys so that we have an answer to the question. And I was so happy to receive this anchor handle, because I got two handles when I bought this top cap. I mean, the head of the razor. I got a maze handle, which was very interesting. I love the feel of it, but it was just too short. It was like chopping off this bit right here, and so it was just too small. The balance wasn't quite right, and it's nice, but I just didn't like it very much. Just the length of it. That's all. I wish it would have had a little bit more. And then I also got that torpedo handle, or bomb. Some people call it the bomber handle, but it's longer. But the problem is that to keep with that torpedo or bomber design, they had solid chunks, a bit of knurling, and then there were these 3 rings right near here where my middle finger would touch, and it made it really difficult to control the razor when it was wet, and even worse when it was soapy. I did not enjoy using that handle at all. And so not only the length didn't need to be that long, but the actual the design of it, the grip, was just non-functional for me. I used it twice, and there's no way I'm going to be able to use it. And so I've been hunting for the middle one. There's the one called the Bishop, one called the Florian. I think the Florian Cross is another one. Got this Anchor one, and then there's one called Vertigo, but I didn't like that one quite as much. But I bet it would be the right size. And so anyway, here we go. It's two-toned, and then gradually, I think if either has had Renaissance wax applied to it, that will gradually wear away, and then the brass patinas will gradually start to match, and that's usually what I go for. So this the Anchor is cool, but it's also just a little bit textured, and that's right where I'm probably going to hold the razor, and so I think that's going to work out really well. Let's put the Astra in. And this one, since it has the posts not on the top cap, you could start to put it on the base plate if you wanted, but I usually find they kind of pop off that anyway. So I just put it on the top cap, I screw it in some, and then I stop to check the razor, wiggle it a little bit, tighten, wiggle, and then bam, it's correct. Very nice. All right. So Anthropophagy, I love how Southern Witchcrafts, with this one, they put the scent notes on there: Tonka, musk, lavender, cotton. And as you can see, we've got the moth on there. Hanibal Lecter, the movie, Silence of the Lambs, that, he's a character in. This is kind of creepily supposed to try to resemble the lotion that he famously used in that horror movie. And so it's got some interesting elements to it, and it's plain at first, and then I caught this sandalwoody note, or the amyris or something like that. And that stuck out to me as well. I did smell the lavender and the cotton and the tonka, I believe, so it does come out. So I'm looking forward to this guy. Okay, the brush has not soaked for too long, but it should be fine. Let me get my face wet first. Normal 1 day growth of stubble that we're going to be dealing with. Shake out much of the water. And these tips haven't gelled very much, and I'm glad about that. And it is a used puck, and I got the whole set, the aftershave as well. So I'm looking forward to, so many times you'll be able to have a different experience with the aftershave than you do the soap, because the liquid alcohol is a very good conveyor of the scent, whereas soap often will hide some aspects of the scent profile, and so you'll get something different. All right, let's do a 25-second load. Oh, 5 rolled around right there, so we'll go to 30 seconds on the clock. Wonderful soap base he has. It is a vegan base. I guess I should say she, because Courtney is the one who mainly does the soap. Stephen helps out a little bit, but he does the brush side of the business. Dogwood Handcrafts. And there we go. Haven't used this too much. I think maybe 10 times for this one, this brush, and I definitely will use it many, many more. So let's see if that's gonna be. Doesn't look like a lot of soap, does it? You never know. It might turn out not to be enough. I may have to go back to the tub. Put a teaspoon of water there and see if it wakes up the lather. Now with most soaps you would have started to see more of the lather right now, so that does make me think I might have to go back in, but let's give it a little bit more work. Yeah, I think we need to go back and get some more. I'm gonna kind of get a little bit out of the brush there, and you need a little bit of water in here to kind of help things. I'm going to put a half a teaspoon in there, and let's just load for maybe another 10 seconds or so. There we go. All right, let's see if that helps us out. So a 35-second load, 2 teaspoons of water in the lather so far. That's looking pretty good. Three teaspoons in the lather total. And I've definitely got some nice scents coming up from the bowl. And that's a welcome change. The last few soaps I've tried have been kind of on the weak side. And one thing I love about Southern Witchcrafts, and by the way, no real affiliation to real witchery, just a theme interest of theirs. One thing I really like about what they do with their soaps is they give them some good strength. You're not gonna, I don't think I've had a single one that was too weak to enjoy. So 4 teaspoons now in the lather of water. Yeah, it's looking terrific. I rinse my fingers off before I add water so that I don't get my syringe all soapy. Some of the got some interesting scents coming up to my nose. I can smell the cotton a little bit. At first I smelled the lavender. A little bit of musk. A very kind of white musk almost is the scent I'm getting. Kind of a, that's just the feel of it. Looking good. Let's just use this. It's very wet, very elastic. All right, got my face wet. Oh, this brush is so good. It's big. This brush fits me so well in terms of the comfort that I feel. Softness that I prefer on the tips. The ease of splay. Just feels luxurious. So much so that I would really save up my money and buy it again if I lost this one. I'd pay full retail if I had to. Now, do you see what's going on? This is often a clue to me that my lather needs more water. Here's what we're looking for. We've got a really thick border here. We've got thickness here in the goatee border. And then look at the lather around the brush. Look at the texture of it. Look at the clumpiness, clods almost. Right there. Look at all that. That usually means that I need to have a little bit more water in it. Not always. It depends on the soap. But then that's what I was able to just pull off the edges of it right there. Now let's feel of it. It doesn't feel pasty on my skin. It feels creamy and just wonderful. I could definitely go for more water, but why don't we just stick? I mean, this is crazy. I mean, that's just awesome. Creamy and ultra slick, kind of a thin film. Really, it's different than so many soaps out there. The slickness feeling, it's almost like a layer of, silk or Teflon on my fingers, and it's not going away as I push the lather aside. It's very cool. It just feels ultra slick. Did he put some kind of new weird ingredient in this one? Or it's just always that good, All right, so we'll work my face just a bit more. Work it into my skin. I'm sorry to say, but I cannot report that no plants were harmed in the making of this soap. Testing was definitely done on plants. But that's just how crazy they are over at Southern Witchcrafts. All right. Here we go. I have not tried the Astra Platinum with the everyday head yet. I've tried about 5 or 6 blades with this head, and in general it's done very well. Let's just see what happens. And I've been using, oh, that's nice. That is smooth. I've been using single-edged razors lately, and this is just like butter compared to most of those, even the nice ones. Even the ones that I agreed with and was able to kind of figure out. I mean, this is just The single edge do have a neat feel, and I can see why people use those. But this right here is the way I like to feel. And there we go. Light touch as always. You can hear a little bit of the hairs, but the sensation is very smooth. I couldn't help but add another teaspoon to the bowl here. So it'll be a little different looking. It won't quite bulk up on the corners and edges like it did before. Man, this brush feels great. Don't need much. Pretty much the perfect consistency now, I think. This razor here, I'm really glad for this textured area because down below it, it's pretty slippery. Cross grain now on the second pass. I hope I don't get to the end of the shave with this being so comfortable and discover that it was because it wasn't cutting very well. This locks down the blade pretty nicely, holds on to it pretty close to the edge, the cutting edge, and so you don't get a whole lot of focalization and chatter. Very nice. So it's the Astra is working really well in it, as long as we get to the end of the shave and have a good result, good close result. Nice. Easily enough lather for 2 passes, maybe even 3 left over. Now starting the third pass, and I'll just kind of repeat what I've done on my cheeks because I get shaved right here close enough. I don't feel the need to try to chase down a baby butt smooth shave. Maybe someday when I'm a high-priced lawyer or movie star. Or the obvious, the face model. And I am going a different approach here. Oh man, that cuts really smoothly, even in this pass going up that way. In my trouble spot often gives me irritation. Often it feels kind of, to some degree, sometimes a little bit, sometimes it feels rough a lot. In this case, it was very comfortable. I don't really like the design of the bottom of the base plate here. Just kind of too simplistic. Like a middle schooler with playing on a CNC machine, seeing how few drill heads he can put in it and still have a design. But I can't argue with the results. I love the way it looks from the profile in general, and I think these diagonals add some neat character to it. And you can't argue with the results. Terrific. So comfortable that I was concerned I'd get to the end of the shave and have it not be up to par. And I don't have a super high standard, but it really is nice. Nice and close here. Almost zero irritation. Just, I mean, a hint, a little smoky wisp of tenderness in kind of one spot. But really nothing to talk about at all. Wow, such a comfy shave. And then to have it be that close is just terrific. So I may have to just get used to that weird looking base plate underside, right? So why don't we, it does mention the same scent notes, tonka, musk, lavender, and cotton. This also has some good stuff for your skin, like witch hazel, water, aloe gel, vitamin E. Shake well before use. I have not tried the splash. I did try the soap before, and it's really kind of a milk. And as such, it's not really going to be offering a lot of sting. I know some people get irritation. If you got excess on your hands, put it in the back of your neck if you want kind of an extra bit of scent. I get irritation with a few alcohol splashes. Usually Sterling is a culprit. Most of the alcohol splashes from Sterling. I need to change my routine a little bit for me not to get a little kind of a flare-up of irritation. And it's probably just my skin not being all that tough. And I either have to maybe put on some witch hazel first, then put on the splash. Works great if I mix in some witch hazel with it. Or I could wait an hour, kind of I guess it lets my skin kind of recover from the shave, and then I'm fine with the Sterling splash. And there are other alcohol-based splashes that kind of can do that to me. And so if you're that kind of person or more severe than that, then this kind of aftershave product is really going to be right up your alley. Definitely, I'm getting the lavender note, but it does have a hint of that a smoothness and a woodiness there. Am I getting maybe a hint of the cotton, but probably not really? Any musk? Maybe just a touch, but again, not really. So right now, and I'm smelling the lavender, but honestly, there's some other stuff in there with it that's not one of these four main things that I've mentioned. If you look in the description of the video, I do paste what the manufacturer wrote about the scent profile, and so you can read more details there. They wrote up that it's their most approachable scent to date, and I would definitely agree with that. There's nothing creepy or weird about it. It's not apple or wine scented or anything like that. And lavender, of course, is a staple in the shaving community. I think it's really interesting. We'll see if those, the amyris, which is kind of like a sandalwood, see if that comes out later in the splash, unfolding later, kind of like it did with the soap. All right, well, that's just wonderful. There's some, what I like about it is it's intriguing. It's not crazy, but it's also not, it doesn't really resemble some typical lavender scents. It's lavender kind of with some twists and but not sudden twists. Like he said, it's very wearable. I don't think anybody's going to really object to it or think something's going on with it or anything. I think there is maybe a hint of some floral in there other than the lavender, or it could be a type of lavender that has kind of a more floral aspect to it. And I am getting that. I think I'm getting now a little bit of that cotton. So yeah, who knows? I may like the soap, and I may not like the splash very much. I think I sprayed the EDT. I got the trifecta with this one. Somebody just didn't like the scent. I bought it on the used market, and I sprayed some of the EDT on me, and it was different than this splash. And I think I really enjoyed wearing that. So very cool. So 4 teaspoons of water, pretty much a perfect lather. I probably, since that first one was thick, if I had to do it all over again, maybe 4.5 teaspoons might be something good to go for. But yeah, I feel like I nailed the lather to the point where I really enjoy it. It was still luxuriously slick. This is a soap base that even after my final rinse, I still felt some of that residual slickness on my face. Some of those products they're using are obviously geared toward being kind to your face that are in the soap, you know. So wonderful soap scent, wonderful lather performance. The razor was stellar, and this is one of my favorite brushes. So this shave kind of hit on all cylinders, and the yeah, he added it with this soap scent, just some interesting pieces around the lavender that transformed it into kind of a boring lavender to something that even I enjoy, a person who definitely does not like the floral scents. So I don't see it mentioned a lot, and so maybe it didn't really hit with a lot of guys, but it sure has with me. I've really enjoyed it. I think I'm going to get the next shave. I could jump back to the Gibbs that I used last time. I really enjoyed that. Or I might switch back to the single edge, maybe the Saber, Blackland Saber with the single edge blade, because I've got 10 or 11 uses on it, and I want to see if I can get to 20 or something like that. And it shouldn't take too long, you know, to do that. Awesome. Well, guys, I sure hope there's something in this video to help you out with your journey. Time for me to clean up. It's kind of funny that they would name their most approachable scent that most closely resembled a traditional part of the shaving community after a violent serial killer. All right, guys, cleanup complete. This has been a very cold winter, even here in North Carolina, and the tap water has been marvelous. It's like drinking from a glacier because there's a natural coldness to it. You don't have to go to the fridge and add ice cubes or anything like that. But now we've had some really nice, comfortable temperatures lately, and in the middle of March here, and so yeah, it's time. That time is over. It's going to start getting to be spring soon. But I really enjoyed this winter. I'm a winter fan. You guys, take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves.